Israel says an international aid flotilla headed to Gaza is carrying chemical weapons which could be used on soldiers. The Israeli Defense Force has been ordered to prevent the 10 ships from making it to the Palestinian territories. The Jewish state warned it will thwart any attempts to breach its blockade of Gaza, but has withdrawn threats to ban any journalists traveling with the fleet. Well, for more on this, we're joined from Washington, D.C. by Palestinian peace activist Aziz Abu Sarah. Thank you very much, Mr. Sarah, for joining us. Now, how likely is the Israeli claim that there is dangerous chemicals on board the flotilla?
I think what's happening now is also a propaganda war, more than the actual flotilla reaching to Gaza or not reaching to Gaza. And so last flotilla, as we remember, last May, there was fatal results of the Israelis coming on board of these ships, and it was a very bad thing image-wise and media-wise for Israel. Now, claiming that there is chemical weapons on those ships will, in case of invading those ships, which is what the Israeli army is planning to do, and having any people killed, it will help the image of Israel in saying we thought that there is some chemical weapons. But it is really unlikely, especially considering that the Greeks have the authority, which is where the ship's leaving from, to go and check those ships, and nothing have been found.
Okay, well, Israel's foreign minister says those on the flotilla are seeking confrontation and blood. As you were mentioning earlier about what happened last year, are we about to witness a repeat of what happened when 9 activists were killed by Israeli troops?
Yes, and it's very unfortunate. I think it's much better for Israel and for Israel's image to allow this flotilla to arrive safely to Gaza. It's known that there is no weapons on it. And again, Israel has good relationship with the Greece, a very good relationship with the Greece, and can search every one of those ships, can make sure that there are no weapons on those ships, instead of having another confrontation that at the end will hurt Israel's image and not help Israel's image internationally.
Okay, well, at the end of the day, looking at the reaction from both sides, do you think this is really about provoking Israel rather than helping Palestinians?
I think the people who organized this flotilla are more about creating awareness of what's happening in Gaza. And Israel actually stopping the flotilla helps the mission of this group. It is a humanitarian thing, and there are different people and there are different groups part of it. So some of them are there for humanitarian reasons, some of them are probably there for a provocation, and some of them are there to raise awareness of the reality of life in Gaza and of the 1.5 million people who've been for a few years now unable to receive what they need to be able to live.
Okay, well, whatever the reason of the people on the flotilla, is it worth the risk of possible deaths?
Nothing is worth the risk of death, and I think that's where the two sides have to come to agreement. I think Israel and the people in the flotilla should engage in some kind of discussion of how to get this going, and that's where I believe Israel should allow, in certain way of agreement, maybe boarding the ships and searching to make sure there are no weapons, to allow those ships to arrive to Gaza in a way that does not hurt Israel's security. Nothing is worth the deaths that could happen. I think any confrontation is going to hurt everybody.
Okay, the calls for Israel to open Gaza's borders, this isn't new. Now, the European Union's foreign policy chief was one of the people to push for that. At this point, do you think Israel will listen to the international community?
I think that will ease at the moment the restrictions and things going into Gaza they have in the recent times. Also, the Egyptians opening the border recently have made the pressure in Israel a little less. The main question is, can Gaza receive things through water, through the sea? And until now, Israel has been completely unopen to that reality that Gaza can use its port. With more pressure from the Europeans, maybe more pressure from the U.S., which it hasn't been using it, that could be possible, but not anytime in the near future, not as long as Hamas is controlling Gaza.
All right, thank you very much for your thoughts. Peace activist Aziz Abu Sarah, thank you.